What's going on, everybody? It's me, Matt here. So the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and the Toronto Raptors have made some interesting moves. One big one that I don't think a lot of people saw coming, and a couple little small ones that I'll get to towards the end of the video. Very quick though, I just want to let you guys know I am almost at 150 subscribers. I'm at 130 currently. So if you enjoy this video in any way or find it informative whatsoever, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe if you feel like doing so. It helps me out along the way on my content creation journey here, and I would really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get straight into what the Raptors did at the NBA trade deadline this season. So, right off the bat, Brandon Ingram is joining the Toronto Raptors. We moved out veterans Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk with a first round pick from Indiana, which I'm not too floundered by because Indiana seems to be good this season, so it doesn't look like it was going to be that great of a pick anyway. And one of our own 20-30 round second pick. So I'm not too phased by it. Now, when the news first dropped, I think I was very confused, and a lot of people were too. Everybody knows that the Toronto Raptors right now are in some form of a rebuild. It's not a roster full of just full young draft picks. We have some veterans in there too, but for the relative part, like the majority of our roster is all under 25 years old. So a lot of people were really curious and like, why would we add somebody like Brandon Ingram given he's only 27 years old? He was drafted in 2016. Didn't really seem like a fit for the Raptors, but after meddling on it, thinking about it, having a night to sleep on it, I sort of thought, okay, this could sort of make sense, and let me explain. Now, of course, Brandon Ingram has been out for the majority of the season. In early December, he got an ankle injury. He's only played in 18 games this season. He's averaging 22.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.2 assists per game. But he could be a good pick for the Raptors because he is a solid shooter, and Scotty Barnes is looking for someone to pass the ball to. Scotty Barnes is a good scorer, but there's a lot of nights you can tell he just really wants to get up in the assist, and he's passing the ball a lot. Brandon Ingram is a perfect pick for that. He's perfect at the mid-range and beyond the arc, so it's someone that Scotty Barnes can look to pass the ball to on the outside once he gets into the paint under the rim. And it's also, Brandon Ingram can also pass the ball and find good lanes for RJ Barrett, players like Barrett and Dick to get in the lane, up into the rim, close range. So I could see him improving the Raptors game there. He's okay on defense. His blocks aren't too bad. Now, one thing about Brandon Ingram and the contract we've signed him to, but we kind of do have some good news on the other end of it, is we kind of are just renting him for the rest of the season. He's only signed on for the Raptors for the rest of the season, but his agent has expressed interest in him signing long-term with the Raptors. Now, the only thing that's iffy about this, and a lot of people are like, yeah, he's a solid shooter and he could work really well with Barnes and Barrett, what the Raptors are trying to build up. It's just, if he doesn't choose to stay in Toronto, let's say he opts out because he becomes a free agent at the end of this season, right? If he doesn't stay with Toronto, I feel like we just kind of wasted like two decently good players in Olynyk and Bruce Brown for somebody that came in, played a couple games for us, and then just decided to bounce. Like, I don't really see what the point is. And the reason why I say a couple games is I don't think he's going to be the number one starter moving throughout the season. Raptors roster right now isn't built for a deep playoff run. So an option is we could play Brandon Ingram for a couple of games this season, hypothetically, sit him though for the majority, save him for next season, the start of the 2025-2026 season. We could possibly potentially still get a top 5 or 6 draft pick coming up in the draft because the Raptors still currently have the 5th worst record in the league. So it might work out in the sense of if we sit Brandon Ingram for a while, and like the whole hope is he decides to sign with Toronto. Like I've said, they already have had a conversation that with Ingram's agent about a contract extension, and he might be interested in doing so, but the Raptors would have to offer him the right amount of money before another team did. I don't know if another team's going to be looking at Brandon Ingram when he becomes a free agent in the offseason. So my hope is that he plays well with the Raptors for the rest of this season. A couple games here and there just so we can see some sparks in them. He can gel with the team, form, see how he likes it, see how the offense gels with him, Barnes, Barrett, Dick moving forward. But I do think it would work if we sit him for the rest of the season, bring in another young player from the draft, possibly another, like I said, another top 10, 6, 5 draft pick, depending where the Raptors end up at the end of the season, and it could potentially work. I don't think this is the worst trade that the Raptors could have made at the deadline. I just really hope it fits and he plays well with who we have. And like I said, he's only here for the rest of the season, free agent at the offseason. Hopefully we can sign him again. He's long, athletic, he's got a good feel for the game. I feel like he's a good, like he fits with the Raptors. After having some time to think about it, when you first see the news, you were kind of like, oh, what the hell? Like, I don't really, like, it didn't really make sense. Because the Raptors are trying to rebuild, so why would you bring in a 27-year-old who's been on 2 teams already since 2016, right? But I think him, Barnes, like, they're going to be older. It opens up more playing time, too, for our younger guys too, like Walter, Shed, Agbaji, and Kamchi. So they're going to be getting some more playing time, too, also with Olynyk and Bruce Brown being gone. So yeah, I think this could potentially be a good pick for the Raptors. I just hope he stays on. That's the thing. I think it's going to be a blunder, and a lot of fans are really going to be upset if we have him. He plays for a couple of games in Toronto, lingers. Let's say on the hypothetical, the Raptors don't make the play-in or the playoffs whatsoever, and Brandon Ingram decides to bounce, go to another team in the offseason, and we're just kind of like, hands in the air. We've lost 2 good players now, 3 good players, in my opinion, with Davion Mitchell, and we're just kind of at square one again. We're gonna have to draft another good player in the draft, another young gun, but that's it. We're just basically gonna be stuck with a younger rookie. Barnes still, who needs help scoring. We got Barrett still. Quickly, we've still yet to really see emerge on the Raptors. He was good last season for the little bit he was here, but since the beginning of this season, I understand he's had injuries and illness. Quickly hasn't been a factor at all. Even when he is on the court, his shooting is subpar. So if Brandon Ingram does decide to leave in the offseason, that's where I think a lot of people are going to be a little upset at this trade a lot more. Be kind of like, so where do we go from here then? Now, this trade, the second one the Raptors decided to do, confuses me a little bit more because I don't really see what we got from it besides Ash, really. We sent Davion Mitchell to the Miami Heat in exchange for PJ Tucker, who's been on the Raptors 2 previous times, and a 2026 second-round draft pick from the Lakers in cash consideration. Tucker, who has not played this season, he's expected not to report to the Raptors whatsoever. Don't really understand that. I like Davion Mitchell's game this season. I thought after his drought in Sacramento, and I thought he wasn't doing as well, I really thought his career was coming on the up and up in Toronto here. He's a very good defensive player. I've had conversations with people that he gives me like Fred VanVleet vibes, but in a sense, I feel like if Davion Mitchell can really like express and grow his game, I feel like to a point, like Davion Mitchell could potentially be better than Fred VanVleet with his defensive game. Look at Davion Mitchell any night he plays a big man, whether it's Giannis, Luka, Jokic. I'm not going to throw LeBron in there because it might be too much. Like any other big man, he can give them fits any night of the week when he's 100% on his defensive prowess. So I don't really like this. I don't really like this trade. All we got was really a 2026 second round pick and some cash considerations. We're not even getting the player. It's not even like I wanted Tucker anyway. I didn't even care. So I'm a little confused by that. But I hope Davion Mitchell has a good career in Miami. And the third and final deal on deadline day, Toronto also acquired James Wiseman and cash considerations from the Indiana Pacers. Wiseman was immediately waived, so I guess all we got from that pick was cash. Okay, I'll take cash. No, that's cool. All right. So what does this mean for the Raptors moving forward? Well, I guess now with the Olynyk and Brown and Mitchell now out of the picture, like I said, it's going to open up more playing time for the team's rookies like Grady Dick, Agbaji, Walter, Mogbo, Battle, and I believe we just signed him to a full NBA contract, 3-year deal, so we're going to have him for a while. So yeah, I don't think the Raptors are, with the addition of Brandon Ingram, are going to go on some big playoff run this season. The most I could see them is just squeaking their way into the bottom, making a potential play-in run. But that's about it. And to be honest, I really wouldn't want them to, because then our draft lottery odds go down. And I do want the Raptors to draft a really good young rookie coming out of this draft class, because we're obviously not going to get Cooper Flag, the rookie from Duke. My main hope, though, is if Brandon Ingram does decide to stay with the Raptors at the end of this season, it's a good 3-4 year contract that he won't be able to turn down, and it doesn't feel like we just gave away some players for nothing. And it'll also open up some time for our rookies to see too. So I don't think Raptor fans should be expecting anything grand at the end of the second leg of this season. But moving forward, if he does decide to sign to Toronto, I think it could potentially be a good, ideal fit. Anyway, guys, that's all today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. Like I said at the beginning, I'm almost at 150 subs, 20 away. Please don't forget to sub if you enjoyed any aspect of this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Toronto's trades at the deadline this year. Do they work? Do they not work? Let me know. I'd like to have a conversation going with you guys. And until the next video, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.